Okay, friends, today I'm going to talk to you as big sister experienced marketing nerd Faith and let you know that your business needs a blog. Why? Lots and lots and lots of reasons that I'm going to get into and spell out for you very clearly in this episode. But just know that if you want to have any kind of an online presence or even just a brick and mortar store, then it is worth learning how to blog correctly, and learning how to integrate it into part of your overall content strategy to reach more people, reach the right people, and stay front of mind. So listen in, prepare to take notes, and I promise to try not to overwhelm you because it's really not that complicated, but it is something that you do need to learn about and you do need to do correctly. Let's go. Welcome to Jumpstart Your Dreams. I am Faith Hannon, Jesus lover, business growth coach, content strategist, barrel racer, worship leader, wrangler of tiny humans, and champion of your God-given dreams. If you are finally ready to feel confident pursuing your God-given dreams, know Jesus more, and learn how to market and actually grow your business without losing your mind, then tell the dog to quit barking, grab a notepad and that third cup of coffee, and listen in for some shoot you straight, visionary, and practical tips to get you the breakthrough you've been looking for. Okay, now in the world of online marketing, in the world of digital business, in the world of connecting with people through our phones, it's really easy for us to get focused on the shiny platforms of social media. And don't get me wrong, I have met some really awesome people. I've made some really great connections and I've had a lot of fun on social media, but social media cannot, hear me clearly, cannot be your be all end all place of marketing your business. Why? Because you don't own your following. You do not own the ground per se that you're building your business on if social media is your only plan for having online marketing. And even if you have a brick and mortar store, if social media is the only way that you are staying front of mind with your clients and future customers or returning customers, sorry, Jack, you are wasting a lot of time and effort because some studies show that only 6% of your following sees your posts. I know, it's depressing, right? You're putting all of this time and effort into making these ridiculous reels with pointing and dancing or these perfectly curated feeds, and maybe only 6% of your following is seeing it. It's kind of sad. I know, which is why your content strategy, your digital marketing strategy has to be built around ground that you own, aka your website. Now, hear me on this. So I recently started this podcast, right? I've blogged for several years. I've blogged for clients. I teach content strategy. I teach people how to blog. I teach people how to blog effectively. I love blogging. I love writing. I'm a communicator by nature. So written word, spoken word, I love it all. However, I've blogged for several years. I like it. It's very effective when done correctly. But I have recently transitioned into podcasting as my main push, my main form of long form content, simply because I feel like my audience, y'all, it's easier for you to pop in your earbuds and listen and learn than it is for you to sit and read a blog. But even as a podcaster, blogging is still an integral part of my content strategy and digital marketing plan. So know that ultimately, even if you have a podcast, even if podcasting is your main form of speaking to your audience, blogging is still important. And it's still really important that you do it right. Okay, and I'm going to teach you why. Okay, the number one reason why your business needs a blog is that blogging boosts your website's search engine optimization. I know, what did I just say? Search engine optimization. What in the heck even is this, Faith? Search engine optimization, which is the abbreviation for that is SEO, is when your website is optimized for search engines like Google, DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, whatever else is still out there, for those search engines to crawl your website with their little robots, whatever they're called. I don't know. Google calls them spider bots, I think. Whatever. It's when your website is optimized for search engines to search your site and see that it is high quality content and going to provide answers to the questions that people are searching. So when you have a website, think of your website, because you need a website. Hear me, write that down, tattoo it somewhere. I need a website. Remember that. When you have a website, your main goal with that website is to drive traffic to that website and then convert that traffic to sales. Okay? Bottom line, if people cannot find you, they cannot pay you. And more people are searching for things online, Googling things, DuckDuckGoing things. I'm not quite sure how that's supposed to sound. They're searching for things online before they actually go out into the streets or to look for something, before they go to the store to look for something, before they talk to a person. More and more, millennials especially, y'all, are looking for things online first. So if you want to succeed in business, even if you have a brick and mortar store, you need a website and you need that booger optimized for search engine crawling, okay? And if people can't find your website because you haven't optimized it for SEO with all kinds of other strategies that I'm going to teach y'all in other podcasts, and you are not keeping that website current, then Google is not going to pop you to the top of a search, even if you have the best service, the best product, the best whatever to solve that person's problem. And one of the most valuable ways that Google and other search engines index sites is by seeing that they're producing fresh content, which, unless you're updating your store every single day, which you're probably not updating your website weekly. I hope you're not. That's a heck of a lot of work. If you don't have a blog, then Google is not seeing that your website is producing fresh, relevant content, okay? I'm going to give y'all some stats so you don't think I'm just making this up, okay? So these reports you can find on HubSpot, Demand Metric, and Life Marketing, spelled with a Y, Life, L-Y-F-E, marketing. Businesses that publish regular content receive 8 times more traffic, meaning content in this description content is blogs, right? Number 2, blogging helps reduce overall marketing spend by 60%. 60%, y'all. 60% reduction in marketing expenses by blogging. Okay, number 3, blogging helps in achieving 3 times more leads. That statistic is from Life Marketing. HubSpot has found that companies that have a blog on their website earn up to 97% more inbound links. Now, why is that important? Because if people are finding that your website, your business produces valuable content, then they will share it. They will organically share it. And another way that Google indexes your site and says, hey, they're producing good stuff, is what's called backlinks. When somebody posts a link from your site to their site, or somebody shares a link from your site to their social media. That's gold for SEO purposes, y'all. 80% of internet users interact with both social media sites and blogs. 59% of marketers find blogging valuable. Blogs can result in a 434% increase in indexed pages and a 97% increase in indexed links. Now remember, y'all, if people cannot find you on the internet, they cannot pay you. So all of these things are pushing more traffic to your website, and even your brick and mortar store, if people are easily able to find you and see what you offer and see if you offer a solution to their particular problem. Okay? I'm going to carry on with these statistics. Businesses that blog get 55% more website visitors than businesses who don't. Marketers who prioritize blogging, received 13 times more return on their investment than companies who did not in 2019. Okay? Let me remind you of a couple of those. Businesses who blog got 55% more website visitors than businesses who didn't. Blogging helped achieve 3 times more leads and 97% more inbound links. Come on, sign up for that, y'all. The second huge reason why you need to blog for your business is that blogging establishes credibility in your field of expertise. Now, a lot of people think that blogging is only for food bloggers or travel bloggers or people who want to share their life story on the internet. And that is a way to blog, but it's not a way that blogging is going to actually build your business, right? Like, God bless all the recipe bloggers out there who tell the entire history of the recipe, how their day went, and all about their dog life update before they give you the dang ingredients for the recipe. Like, I hate that. Utterly loathe that. But that's not what blogging has to be, okay? Blogging essentially is offering valuable information, high value content to help your ideal customer learn more, okay? Even if it's just something that you see as peripheral to the main thing that you are trying to sell, or something that is just leading them on the journey to being able to purchase or being willing to purchase or being knowledgeable enough to purchase. Your blogs are supposed to provide value. Therefore, blogging establishes your credibility in your field of expertise. The more educated your clientele is on how valuable your perspective is and how valuable your service is, the more willing they are going to be to say, take my dollars, please. Okay? When you or I are thinking about spending whatever a big amount of money is for you, like for me, spending more than $100 on something some days feels big, right? And some of that is just like, depends on what category it's in. And it depends on, how much finessing of the budget I'm going to have to do to make that work. But when I'm fixing to spend some money with somebody, I want to know that they know what they're talking about. I want to know that this product or this service has been put together well. I want to know that this person, other than just selling me a thing, like they actually know more about that thing than I do. And writing blogs around your area of expertise and even giving away some, quote, free information via a blog will do wonders for the know, like, trust factor with your potential clients. And this little fact here goes for any and all forms of content, especially long-form content. So if your long-form content is a podcast, if your long-form content is a blog, keep this in mind. If potential clients know that they can get highly applicable and free content from you that's valuable, then they will trust you to deliver big on your paid services as well. Okay, so this one will seem kind of silly, but it's true. Blogs give you something valuable to send to your email list. Now, if you don't have an email list, you should, because once again, you don't own the ground that your social media platform is built upon. You don't own it. Mark Zuckerberg does, or whoever owns TikTok. I don't even know. I'm not a TikToker. But if you don't have an email list, you don't necessarily have a way to get in contact with the people who find your stuff valuable and who like you and are, willing to exchange your email list. Like, these people are already like you. So if you don't have an email list, you should. But writing blogs gives you something to send your email list, to stay front of mind, so they see your name pop up in their email inbox, at least weekly, hopefully, so that you can stay in touch with them. You can continue to nurture that relationship. Okay, number 4, your blogs can and should be strategically repurposed across multiple platforms. So when I tell you that you need to write blogs or pay somebody to write blogs for your business, I know that one of the first things that comes to mind is like, oh my gosh, Faith, I do not have time to create more content. And I get it. Like, the content creation game is real. And a lot of times you can feel like a hamster on a wheel, just creating. However, if that's how you feel, you're kind of doing it wrong, / really are doing it wrong, because you should be creating very strategically and then repurposing that very, very strategically. So hear me on this. If a podcast is your main push, your main form of long-form content, then that podcast can and should be repurposed into a blog, the right kind of blog, and then repurposed into social media posts, into email blasts, or whatever you happen to call it in your world. Blogging and investing the time up front to creating a blog or a podcast or some sort of high value long form content, what that does is that it almost allows you to batch, but you put a bunch of value into one thing and then can break that value up into multiple posts. Because remember, not everybody's seeing all of your social media posts except maybe your mom and your best friend. And they don't care if they see the same idea more than one time, right? Like if your mom's anything like my mom, she's like liking all of the posts and sending heart emojis on everything you do, which is amazing, right? Like I wish everybody had a mama like mine. But don't be afraid to repurpose something. Just because you put it out there once doesn't mean everybody saw it. Okay? Okay. And bonus, y'all. If you are like, what the ever loving heck do I write blogs about, Faith? I gotcha. Okay. If you need to just sit down and hash out what your content, podcast content or blog content needs to be, if you book a content strategy session with me, we will not only establish your content strategy, content pillars that are going to rock the socks off of you and your audience, but we will knock out, I don't know, sometimes 3 to 6 months of blog posts in like 1 hour, depending on how solidified your content strategy is. And I'm not joking when I say that clients walk away with like feeling so relieved that they have things to write about and know what they're going to write about or talk about in a podcast, and then how to repurpose those. So if you don't know what you're going to write about and you just need an outside expert opinion to help you tap into your content creation genius, book a content strategy session with me. Spots are limited. They are very limited. So get that booked and let me help you with your content strategy, because it can be absolutely game changer. Okay, number 4, blogs can and should be strategically repurposed across multiple platforms. So I think a lot of people get hung up on creating a blog because they think, oh my gosh, this is just one more thing that I have to create and use all of this time on, when yes, it is an investment of time, but also it's a strategic investment of time. Because let's say podcasting is your main form of long form content. Yay. I love that. But your podcast itself is not stemming from your website. So it alone is not driving a ton of traffic to your website. And additionally, a podcast is sound, right? Like you can't just repurpose sound alone in your social media platforms, your email, and other like Pinterest marketing. So when you take let's say podcasting is your main form of long form content, you take your podcast and you repurpose that into a blog, a well-written blog, then you can take that written content of the blog and repurpose that strategically for your email list, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Pinterest, because it's in written form. It's already written out well, and you can repurpose it strategically. Like, guys, I get it as a work at home mom of littles, like everything in my life is work smarter, not harder. But let me also tell you that sometimes the work smarter piece of that looks like doing the heavy lifting up front. And I know that writing a blog or repurposing a podcast into a blog, or just blogging as your main form of long form content, can feel really overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, I barely have time to write an Instagram caption. I don't have time to write a blog. But you do. You do, because if you sit your little tush down and you write a blog, even if blogging is your only form of main form content, long form content, if you sit your little tush down and write one high value piece of content, one blog, you can repurpose that booger 5, 10, sometimes 15 different ways from one really high value piece of content. Hello. Come on, talk about work smarter, not harder, y'all. Like, this is where it's at. And if podcasting is your main form of long form content, take that podcast and all of the outline and back work that you did for that, repurpose that into a blog, get that booger up on your website with the brilliant SEO strategies that I'm going to teach y'all, and start getting traffic to your podcast and your business from your website as well. Guys, blogging strategically is going to do so much for your businesses. The number 5 reason why you probably need to blog for your business is this: blogs educate your future clients and make them easier to work with. What do I mean by that? Well, okay, let's say that you are a photographer and you have reoccurring questions with every client. Like, every client wants to know, what do I wear for a fall session? What do I wear for a mini session? How do I get my kids happy for, XYZ minutes that you're going to be taking their pictures? Like, all of these issues are things that lots of clients are going to deal with. And if you can educate them and help them know that you're solving their problem ahead of time, one, it's going to save you time with back and forth emails, because you can be like, oh yeah, let me tell you, I've already got this really awesome piece of content ready for you that you can include in your onboarding process. Bonus tip. But also, it makes those people easier to work with. Another example I thought of is, like, if you're a web designer, not every business is ready to work with you, but if you can create some blog content that educates potential clients on the things that they need to do and can do before they shell out the big bucks for a custom web design, like, you're making them easier to work with, as you are making your clients easier to work with, because you've already provided high value educational content that's going to get them further down the track to being ready to pull the trigger and spend the dollars. Okay. So the number 6 reason why you most likely need a blog for your business is blogging helps you get better at communicating. Blogging correctly helps you get better at communicating. Because when you have to sit down and outline your thoughts and put them in a very logical flow in a blog that somebody would actually want to read and get information and get helpful information in, it helps you piece together your ideas better. It helps you shore up those arguments. It helps you do some research. It helps you become a better communicator. And I don't know if you're like new to life, but communication is key for all of the things. Maybe part of your business entails communicating some less than simple ideas. Learning how to sit down and write those concepts out will help you communicate that better. I think it's Albert Einstein is known, I think the quote's attributed to him, where it's like, if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, you don't understand it. That's kind of true. And so if you can sit down and you can write out and break down these, quote, complicated ideas and make them easy to understand, easy for your audience to understand, it's going to help you be a better communicator. It's going to help you sell more. It's going to help people come to you as the expert because they know you understand your stuff, and you're going to become the go-to because you can communicate these things clearly to your audience. So I'm done with that point, y'all, but really, you need to blog because it's going to help you be a better communicator. And if blogging is not your only long form content, that's fine. Like, obviously I believe in podcasting. I launched a podcast and I think it's amazing. I think it's an amazing way to communicate, to build know, like, trust factor with your audience. But also, if you're a podcaster, you need to take those podcasts and you need to turn them into the right kind of blog, and you need to blog strategically. If you think you want to start a podcast, 1, I highly recommend it. And 2, let me tell you who you should learn from. Stephanie Gass is the one who taught me how to podcast, and her course, Podcast Pro University, and her other course, Clarify Your Calling, if you're just not sure what you need to be doing. Those are both courses that I've taken, I love, and I actually affiliate for now. If you want to go to my website, you can get that affiliate link. Woohoo! And that'll help you get started on your podcast. And then I'll teach you how to blog, because I love Steph, but I'm currently working with her as a client, fixing all of her blogging, because she did one of the stereotypical podcaster to blogging mistakes and just put the transcript on her website, on her blog. But that's a whole nother discussion for another episode, because you don't want to do that. Trust me. Anyway, so I promise blogging does not have to be big or scary or intimidating or take 20 hours a week to do. It really doesn't take that much time, especially if you do it right and you do it strategically. But I really do think that for a lot of businesses, probably for most businesses, blogging is a great asset to your digital marketing and building know, like, trust factor with your clients. If you have questions, or you're like, teach me the things, Faith, I need to know how to do this, I need to know what to write about, please reach out and schedule a coaching session on my website, faithhannon.com. I will include the link to book a coaching session in the description. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys blog, to seeing you create strategic content and really connect with your people. So thank y'all, and God bless. Thank you so much for listening in today. It means the world that you tuned in. Hopefully this episode inspired you, challenged you, and left you feeling like you really can do the thing that God has called you to do, even if you need a nap first. If it did, can I ask you a couple favors? Would you please subscribe so you don't miss a thing? Share this episode with a friend and take 30 seconds and go leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Not only will it bless my socks off to know that this is helping you, but it will help spread this message to more Jesus-loving entrepreneurs. Connect with me over on Instagram at Faith Hannon and find out about all the things, courses, coaching, and copywriting at my website, faithhannon.com. Until next time, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.